I think that Amazon is the ultimate beneficiary of the AI efficiency wave because it wins with AI now 4 ways. So Amazon obviously owns AWS, which is the infrastructure layer for artificial intelligence, one of the big 4. It also owns Trainium, which is one of the largest AI chip companies in the world now. And that actually makes AI compute cheaper for all of Amazon's customers and indirectly adds a level of stickiness to AWS. So it really helps them there. But with the AI efficiency wave, Amazon Retail, which is all the products they sell, is going to benefit massively due to Amazon's use of AI internally to bring efficiencies to logistics and to the entire shopping process. And fourth, most people don't understand this, but Amazon has now become the 3rd largest digital advertising company in the world behind Google and Meta. And they'll be able to leverage this AI during this efficiency cycle to help target ads better, to enhance the creativity of advertising, and then also to personalize those ads, which I think is going to generate more revenue for Amazon while also saving them and their customers money. So with Amazon, it's not a single bet on AI. It's an entire company-wide efficiency flywheel that benefits Amazon more than any other company I've been able to identify in the world. So I've still, to this date, I'm more excited about Amazon now than I was even a few months ago because it's so obvious that this AI efficiency wave is going to hit them and hit them really hard in the near future.
So a lot of people are going to wonder then, is it too late to invest in Amazon? Because you were last talking about it was, I think, 197 and now it's 250 something, give or take, 260. Do you have a price target in terms of where you expect it to go? Or is it just as long as this continues, you think there's going to be opportunity?
I don't trade price and I don't have price targets. I exit my positions when the market at large agrees with me. And the market at large definitely does not agree with me in its entirety as it relates to the way I think things will unfold with AI and specifically for Amazon. So I still have a massive Amazon long position. And I always tell people every day you're repurchasing every single stock in your portfolio every second of the day. So by holding a stock, that is exactly the same as choosing to repurchase that stock that day. So yes, I repurchased my entire Amazon position today. So it's no different than someone who's coming in for the first time, right? I'm basically making a conscious decision to rebuy my Amazon every day. So I don't recommend what other people should do, but that's what I'm doing for myself.
But when you say you're really heavy into Amazon, what does really heavy mean? Like, are you taking out a levered position?
Yes.
Are you in margin? What does this look like? What percent of your portfolio is Amazon?
If you were to look at what the options that I have in Amazon represent in Amazon stock, then Amazon would be roughly 70% of my portfolio.
Oh.
If you look at the options and the stock that those options control.
It's like 100 shares per contract.
Yes. And Amazon has been roughly 70% of my portfolio now for months and months. So that's like not a new thing.
What are the top 3 companies you're bullish on besides Amazon?
I'm really all in on Amazon, quite honestly. I do still have numerous bets across that second wave of AI, which is the infrastructure layer, which is inclusive of energy companies like Bloom Energy, chip companies, data center companies, as well as some companies that are involved with rare earths, because this is all like part of the picture here. I would say once you kind of move beyond a company like Amazon, which is a really concentrated position, the other companies in my portfolio generally tend to be more diversified. Now, Robinhood would be the one exception to that. Robinhood is still a top 30 position for me, and it's a position that I've added to since it kind of fell back into the 70s. And I could see myself adding even more to Robinhood over the course of the next few months.
What do you think is going on with Robinhood stock? Because I've gone in like heavy into a few companies every single one of them has been right, just the wrong time. And Robinhood is another one of those companies where like I went in super, super heavy on around 100, 110-ish, which obviously was a little bit rich, but it's came down. And now I'm thinking like, if I bought it at 110, why am I not stockpiling at like 75? And I feel like I should be buying more of it. And I'm curious, like, what do you think has happened with Robinhood? Why is it going down?
The market knows you bought. And because of that, it just is a bear signal that everyone's like, Jack bought the stock. There's no other way to say it.
What happens if I short it then?
You know what's so funny? Jack bought this bond fund that I'm invested in, and it was the same one. And my bond fund had done really well. And then Jack bought in this bond fund, and treasury yields spiked. Like as soon as Jack bought in. And now that bond fund is down. I've been
like it's
up
supposed
for
to
like
pay
a
you
year.
like 3.5% or whatever,
tax-free.
and not change the price, but the price actually changed.
Yield spiked as soon as he bought. Tell me that's not just. It has to be more than just a coincidence.
When you make an investment, you should have a thesis that you have relatively high conviction in. So when the stock goes down, as long as the information doesn't change, as long as there's not new data that changes your thesis, you should have a higher conviction now at the current price rather than a lower conviction. I think the big mistake that most retail investors fall into is we always think that someone else knows more than us. We think that if we make an investment and the stock starts to move the other way, well, I must be wrong. Well, again, you shouldn't have made that investment unless you have a really strong thesis that you think is being underappreciated by the rest of the market. And if the market continues to underappreciate that, you should get excited. So like when Amazon fell, I got really excited. You remember when Bloom Energy fell? I was actually excited that day when I messaged the group. I said, guys, I'm doubling down because I know why Bloom Energy dropped. It was a thesis that someone had on Oracle, and I know that that thesis is wrong. So once I realized why people were selling Bloom, I got really excited to buy more Bloom because I knew the reason why they were selling Bloom was wrong, at least according to my thesis. So I think investors are just way too willy-nilly these days trading in and out of stocks because they saw someone else did it and they don't develop their own thesis, their own conviction. And that's just really important. So like I have a huge position in Amazon and I actually want the stock to fall because I'm so confident in the timeline I have for Amazon over the next year or two. I would actually be happy to lose a lot of money in the short run so that I can go even deeper and more levered into Amazon at a lower price.
So how much, we use the term dry powder, do you have? Because if the stock price falls, you're going to want to buy more, but then how much cash do you have sitting on the sidelines if you're already taking out leveraged position, taking on margin?
Yeah, so my leverage currently sits, not counting for stock options, just how much I'm borrowing on margin. My leverage is actually at like 40% borrowing, which is really low for me right now today. As you guys know, I will often drive that leverage up to 80 or 90% and at times 100%. And there have been times that I've been margin called every day because of that, right? And I have to keep a close eye on it because I'm borrowing tens of millions of dollars in margin, like fully margined account when I have a high conviction thesis. So I feel really comfortable that I'm only 40% margin because if the market falls because of Iran or some person has some knock on Amazon and Amazon falls, assuming that I think that information's bad, right? I would love that. Because I would just go deeper into Amazon. I would borrow more money on margin to go
Why
deeper.
not just have Jack buy more Amazon stock and drive the price down?
Well, that's an option as well. And by the way, even when I'm capped out on margin, and I want to be very clear. I'm a lunatic, okay? Nobody should mimic what I do unless it's inside of like a designated high risk, high reward, what I call a big money account with money that they can afford to lose entirely. But even when I'm capped out on margin, I do have one last option, which is, if I start to lose that money and I'm getting margin called and I want to go in even deeper, I just start to sell the equity and I go all in on highly levered options. So there's always like another layer of risk that I could tap into. Fortunately, I've never gotten so down that road and have been wrong so many times to where I've tapped out that last layer of risk and have gone broke. And I think I'm at a point in my life where I will never allow that to really happen at this point. Listen, guys, I don't make these decisions like quickly. Like, as I said, like I spend dozens of hours, sometimes upwards of 100 hours of research before I make these decisions on a single trade.
Now, really quick, every business is asking themselves the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are limitless, but guessing is too risky, and sitting on the sidelines is not an option because one thing is certain. If you're not doing it, your competitors are already making their move.
And that's where our sponsor NetSuite by Oracle comes in. It's the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses to manage everything from financials and inventory to commerce, HR, and CRM, all in one unified system.
When all of your data is in one place, your AI becomes a lot smarter. It doesn't just guess. It knows. NetSuite intelligently automates routine tasks, delivers real-time insights, and helps you make fast, confident decisions that actually help drive growth.
And it's not just an add-on, it's AI that's literally built right into the system that runs your business, helping you cut costs, improve accuracy, and stay ahead of the competition.
Whether your company is making millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite gives you visibility and control to keep moving forward. Honestly, if I were building a business of this size, NetSuite's the only company that I have 100% confidence in.
So if your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, get our completely free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/clips.
Again, the guide is free for you at netsuite.com/clips, netsuite.com/clips, with the link down below in the description.